Back, esteemed viewers. If you just joined us, you are right on time because the show is about to kickstart. Now, before our guests will come on board, the topic for today's discussion is gender issues, an exploration of roles and stereotypes in the workplace. Now, I'll give you an insight of what we're about to discuss this evening before I introduce our guest for today. Now, in today's diverse workforce, workplace stereotypes can be detrimental to employees' morale, hinder professional growth, and perpetuate discrimination. Now, to better understand this, we will shed light on various stereotypes across protected characteristics, explore common examples of workplace stereotypes, their impacts, and effective strategies to create a more inclusive and supportive work environment in Nigeria. We will be analyzing this crucial topic with our guest in the studio. She goes by the name, let me take a deep breath, Lawrenta Akhimimen. She is a certified education administrator and a life coach. She is also the proprietor of Shiloh Solid Start Montessori School, Kubwa, Abuja. Good evening, Lawrenta.
Good evening, Confidence.
I did not water your name.
No, you didn't.
I tried, right?
Yeah, you did.
Welcome. How have you been? Like,
awesome.
How is the economy? No.
The economy is not doing anything. Where she is looking like this economy. I've got it. I've got it.
I'm gonna have to.
We operate the economy of Zion.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Higher level.
So we don't want to think about the economy.
Right.
Yes.
We refuse to look like the economy.
We refuse to look like the
look
economy.
Good.
Thank
the
you.
sky is blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight.
Welcome. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All right. You are an educationist, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the topic for today says an exploration of roles and stereotypes in the workplace. Of course, you work within the walls of an institution whereby you have we have the employees and the employers. Now I want you to take us through the concept called gender issues, because of course stereotypes is considered as a gender issue in the workplace. So take us through the concepts called gender issue. What is gender issues in simpler terms?
Thank you very much. You know, there are the inequalities and the biases, you know, that people face based on their gender, right? It's about recognizing that despite our shared humanity, we are all humans.
Of course.
But, you know, people face different discriminations based on the fact that they are male or they are female. And then the humanity is removed first because of societal expectations, right? And these are things that have been inscribed and ingrained as assumptions that, oh, you are a male, this is how you should act. You are female, this is how you should act. These are gender issues.
Okay. So these gender issues that are dominant in the workplace, can you like give us a highlight? What are these gender issues?
Sure. In the workplace, we have the pay gap.
Okay.
You know, you have a role, there's a male there, there's a female, but the male tends to earn more because you say he has a family to care for.
Okay, and the woman doesn't have a family to cater for.
That's the question.
Wow.
Inequality, right? And then there's the issue of leadership representation.
That's true.
You know, a woman is fit for a position and a man is also fit. The woman may even qualify more,
Of course.
have more value to add, but she is not considered because she's female. So you find that in most organizations, male are at the leadership position, they are the hierarchy, which ought not to be. So it ought to be who can do it well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then there is also this workplace harassment. Yeah, women tend to be harassed at the workplace, all manner of harassment, discrimination. These things hinder women. They don't even want to strive. They don't want to put in their more because they know there's an obstacle. There's a line manager, a supervisor, a superior somewhere, you know, that has something else in mind that will not allow me to cross this certain position. So these are some of these workplace issues that female gender issues we have in the workplace.
And concerning that, you said workplace harassment. Most women are being regarded as weak vessels. But then I had this conversation with a friend before now, and he was like, it is not only the women that also go through
the harassment.
workplace harassment.
I was going to point out that as well, because it seems like more women go through it more because, like she said, men are more in the position of power than the women.
They make the decisions.
Yes. So, but it doesn't take away from the fact that men also go through harassment. Sometimes they don't even go through it from the bosses. They go through it on the part of their fellow,
people on the same level.
People they're on the same level with. Or let me not even boast your brain. People that they are that they're subordinates. I mean, like a man now, you see, will get harassed by a subordinate, like someone lower than him, and he can't say anything because he is a man.
Should he try anything?
Should he try anything? It will be a word against ears.
That's true.
So in that instance, too, men to go through their harassment, just that on a higher level, statistically, the female, go through it more.
Right, Bukola, please help us with more questions.
So, now, we're talking about gender issues, inequality. This is something that, like you said, has been ingrained. How do we, is it even possible? Will there ever come a time where we will, say, oh, finally, we are equal?
Yeah, gender equality.
Will that time ever come? How can we even achieve it?
Okay, this gender equality issue we're talking about, I think we should rather strive for equity, as it were, because gender equality, it's a journey, it's not a destination.
It's not.
And there's been progress if you look at it.
Yes, of course.
There's been a little bit of progress here and there. Right now we're seeing the financial sector, women coming up, becoming the CEOs of big financial institutions. It wasn't so before now, right? So there's actually progress in that aspect, but getting to a position, I think more advocacy, more enlightenment, more education, more mentorship, women looking up to these women that have achieved these feats and striving to be like them, having role models, can help minimize the gap, but that there should be equality, gender equality.
In what you said now, one point I just want to bring out is the fact that women should look up to women.
Yes, that have done it.
A lot of example of women out there that are doing this. Sometimes we hear a particular position and say, oh, there is a woman, and say, there is this position is held by a woman. There is not enough publicity.
That's true.
There is not enough publicity, and sometimes, sometimes women, we celebrate ourselves, but we don't celebrate ourselves enough.
We don't support each other.
We don't support each other.
As a matter of fact, to an extent, we are our problem.
So
you can say that
we need to support ourselves. Like a woman, you support a woman. Of course, where you see, not as if you support her blindly. Of course, you support her.
Just cheer her up
where
she has done something good.
And you also hold her accountable. Where she is being, wrong, where she has done wrong, where she has taken the wrong step. We'll hold ourselves accountable like that, and with that we move forward as a society.
Envy will not let
You said that. You're saying that, but I think women are capable of loving each other.
It's getting better.
This sky is big enough for everybody.
It's getting better. It's not as bad as it used to be. The advocacy now and the organizations, online support platforms where women are being encouraged to support each other. So gradually, like I said, it's a journey.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Okay, we have what is called traditional roles for men and women. What are these roles?
We believe that there are some things that women should do and some things that the men should do. We believe that, women are not good in math, they are not good in science. The women are emotional, so you can't entrust them with leadership positions because you know they will make irrational decisions. And then there's this belief that women are nurturing and caring. They are better caregivers at home and all that. And then men on the other part are assertive, they are career focused, you know, they just want to make the money and all that. So these are stereotypes that already exist, and they are traditional roles that, you know, society just have concluded that this is how it should be. But we've also seen situations where men are wonderful caregivers. At home, we've seen women great in robotics, in coding, in technology, everywhere.
Okay, the thing is, I do agree with what you're saying, but one thing I want to say or see from the side of the society is that although we don't want to be ingrained in these roles, but because of your gender, you are literally ingrained in those roles. Okay, now, for instance, a man can give birth. There are roles that are specific to the gender. I mean, yes, we are moving forward as a society, but if you like transgender,
hygiene,
down there on hygiene, on this one, a man can never give birth.
If not achieve
that is a female role. Can never carry the baby for 9 months, and there are some rules like physically, because physically a man is stronger than a woman. So there are some rules
women too.
I was going to say
very strong women. I'm saying very strong.
Okay, yes, they are, you know, like just the normal thing is biologically a man is stronger than a woman. So yes, of course there are some roles that a woman can do, a woman would not like do, but a man can do. I'm just saying that yes, we're moving forward, but there are some roles that are specific to our gender. There is no
talking about a man
aside giving birth, what other role?
Okay,
exactly.
That's the only one I can think of now. Nobody should shoot me.
But then I think
I'm just
most
saying,
of these specified roles to an extent can be interchanged. And then you hear some people say that a man is not meant to, like, you know, play the role of a woman in the house, like cooking, taking care of the kids, you know. And I was like, I don't understand. The same hand you have is the same hand this woman
yours is stronger.
Exactly. So putting more effort
and cook. They say no, cooking is meant for women. No, these are stereotypes. We also
just stereotypes. We have
stereotypes in the house, in the home also.
In the homes. Wow. In the homes, yes.
Well, all right, let's move away from that. These days, some women are becoming more masculine in their places of work. Now, do you believe that this is affecting the level of femininity in the society today?
Well, for me, I don't believe, right?
Okay.
Femininity is, it has many sides, right? It's the side you choose to view it from, right? Now, what's your question again?
That some women are becoming masculine in the workplace. Now, do you think it is in any way affecting their femininity?
Level of, yes, femininity.
Okay. Well, for me, I think the society is the one challenged, not the women, right? Okay. Societal expectations from working women, right? Women that are confident, that are assertive, that are bold, that understand the value they bring to the table, that know their worth, are termed feminist, are termed masculine. Not basically because of the role they play in the workplace, but because there's this level of confidence they just assume and display in conversations, in meetings and all that, and they just say, oh, they are not dragging the positions with the male, men are talking, women are talking, and all that. So I think society is the problem here, not the working women, as it were, right?
So you're saying society is the reason behind the masculinity in women?
That's the way I see it, because society are the ones that are quick to give it names, that are quick to throw the shades and say, she's now becoming a man, and you hear in-laws or partners saying there can't be two male in this house, right? You're trying to be a man and all that. So because you're the boss, or because you have men answering you sir at work, you want everyone in this house to also answer you sir and all that. So the issue is not from the female assuming position of authority in the workplace, but because these females have achieved these positions and just are able to express themselves confidently and step into situations and make changes and all that, society and people around tend to now see them as masculine, as feminist. That's what they said. Like they can't be controlled, they can't be tamed. That's the way they feel.
But then, are you in consensus with that?
I am not. No.
Okay.
I am not. Women that have achieved certain positions, whether at work, in the society and all that, can also be very humble, homely, wifely, motherly, godly, submissive, and all that. But
you just said the society is the reason behind this masculinity exhibition. And don't you think if the society works in favor of these women, they won't portray such masculinity? Because if they don't exhibit this masculinity, they will be relegated to the background. Their right to be trampled upon.
What is masculinity?
Okay. You are the educationist. Because through the concepts.
Being macho, right?
Not macho, just exhibiting the qualities
authority
of a man.
Being manly, outspoken, but defending yourself.
I do think that.
So do you think defending yourself is masculinity?
Okay.
No.
Every human have the right to defend themselves.
Okay.
To be confident in who they are. Know that they matter. Know what they are able to bring to the table, right? That's just human nature. It has nothing to do with gender. So, but over time, women have been stereotyped to maybe listen and not speak up,
always submissive,
not defend themselves, earn and submit what you earn and stuff that women are not willing to do in this day and age. So you bring in that masculinity and feminism grammar. That's not what it should be. We are humans and we should be able to defend ourselves.
Of course, you should be able to defend yourself. But it seems like because women now have to start assuming, some of these qualities of which should be just a quality
of a human.
Yeah, it seems like in so doing, sometimes you just feel like the level of femininity has sort of reduced. I mean, I'm not saying just some, not all. Of course, there are some women that can balance it. They are feminine, at the same time authoritative, assertive, and they just
bold,
confident. Of course, but because of they have to assume this role sometimes, it seems like the level of femininity is now reduced.
You just need to reduce it and bring up that
the masculine.
Exactly. There are some workplaces that don't understand you being female. But when you show them that masculinity,
you want me to bring out the man in me.
So I think it goes sideways. There are some situations you show your feminine part. There are some situations you just need to show them that leave that woman's side apart. Let's show you that I can also exhibit that masculinity. Okay, let's move away from there. Now, being a career woman, okay, you work in a workplace. Have you in any way encountered any form of stereotype in your workplace?
Well, personally, honestly, no. Because I work in the education sector, and it's been stereotyped to be a female sector. So we dominate our sector as it were. So I think Emma will be able to answer this question. Personally, not. But I know that these stereotypes exist in the workplace.
So now, the thing is, and just what you said now, that means there are some roles now that it seems like it's not a man's world, it's a woman's world.
And it's not a woman's making. Men don't want to work in education. They feel there is no money there.
Wow.
So they want to go to other sectors where they can make a lot of money to take care of family. But there is really no sector where there's no money.
Yeah. You just have to find your
we have
niche.
more women in the education sector.
Yeah, you find it becoming a women sector.
And do you think they are doing the job more? Like
women are passionate, you know.
Women
are nurturing.
They are natural nurturers.
Women are caring.
That's true.
Women are change drivers. So these are the characteristics that we want in the education space, where you're raising and nurturing children, and women are able to do all of this and even more. Although not all women, as it were, but the majority of women, you know, you're a mom, you have your kids, and you're not caring for other people's kids. You won't want to give what you don't want your child to receive.
And even if you're not a mother yet, you are aspiring to be a
mother.
So
you know, you're soft. Women are softer, like they say. You know, they are emotional. They cannot make good leaders because
because they are softer.
Something. We said women are soft. Now, Mother's Days, we appreciate our mothers, we celebrate our mothers, they are sweet, they are this. Now someone asked, who are the mothers of these nurses we have in the hospital? Whose mothers are they?
Can I surprise you? You know, those nurses are stressed. Excuse me. Yeah, I have to speak up for nurses. It's an opportunity.
Okay.
The kind of work one nurse does here in this part of the world, it's not the same thing. No, you can't say nurses everywhere are like these nurses we have in Nigeria. Elsewhere, you have one nurse attending to just 2 patients, right? Somewhere 3 patients, 4. But here you go to the hospital, you have 20 beds, you have 1 nurse, 2 attendants.
Like seriously, the work is strenuous.
Put yourself in the position of that nurse.
Yeah.
There was a night I had to attend to an emergency for a relative. And I just said, God, my child will never be a nurse. And the nurse said to me, your child will be a nurse, but not in Nigeria. That's the end of the night. One person attending pediatrics ward, trying to bring 4 babies back to life. One person. There's no way she will not be irritated when you're screaming, please attend to my baby, help me, and all that. She's handicapped.
The thing is, as much as you've come, in their defense, there are some nurses that are not worth this defense. because
I agree with you. Some people
there
can
are some
be mean.
of them that you go into hospitals, and the thing is, this is not something that one person has said. Just coming from one person, you say, okay, maybe it's just your own, situation. But you hear, like, different situations where people are saying, oh, they go into the hospital, and the nurse is just sitting down there
but
doing nothing.
This only happens in public hospitals. Do you find this same situation in private hospitals?
Private, of course not. The private sector is not like the public sector. So that's the thing.
But they are also supervised in the public sector. I am saying that, I'm not saying 100%, but 85% of the times, those nurses are overwhelmed. The work is too much for them. In private hospital, you see that they have less customers, less patients coming in. They have hands, they have doctors, they have nurses, they have those other attendants to support. They are not as stressed, as overwhelmed as those other ones that everybody, whether you have the money or not, you have to go to the hospital, you go to them. Sometimes they don't even have the right work equipment, right? Sometimes even power is a challenge. There are a lot of challenges that makes those nurses to act the way they act sometimes.
Of course, there are factors, yes, of course.
The major factor there is the stress factor for me. Yeah, I know that there are some people that are not good, bad people, naturally. But 85%, I said, is due to the situation.
Okay, let's move away from that. Now, still talking about stereotypes in the workplace. Do you think these stereotypes happens consciously or unconsciously?
Both, but oftentimes unconsciously, because these biases exist. Sometimes even you have this bias within yourself that no one is even imposing it on you. but within you, this stereotype has so found its way deeply rooted inside of you that you just feel this is not for me, or this can't even happen for me, or that can't even be me, I can't even get there. So that's unconsciously now. Oftentimes, most times, unconsciously, but again consciously when it comes to decision making, people consciously stereotype, but unconsciously people limit themselves. Yeah, due to these stereotypes, people limit themselves.
So now I know that some of the ways to combat gender inequality at workspace, you see, you know, like you said, you know, you talk, you know, we have all this personal development and mentorship, you know, initiatives, you know, we also have like flexible work hours to create more, you know, equitable workplaces for women. But do you believe that these solutions, you know, do they solve the problem, or do they further cause more divide, as opposed to just, you know, treating everyone the same way? Because you find that when you start to say, okay, let's create more initiative, you know, to promote, you know, good workspace, good conducive environment for the women, now in the workspace, it seems like we're now creating a special you know, work environment for women. And now it just seems like, is this, you know, solving the problem, or is it further causing the divide? What, you know, this is a gap we're trying to close here. So like, do you believe these solutions are, you know, good in their way? Of course they are good, but like, you know, in what percentage?
The intentions are clearly good. The intentions are clearly good, but if you take a critical look at it, it further, you know, widens the divide, like divides the gap, makes it more conspicuous, as it were, because she's a woman, she has to work this hours. So when you're trying to make certain decisions, you just say, oh, she won't be available at these times. You understand? So though the intentions are great, it further broadens the gap for equality in the workplace.
I'm of the opinion everybody should be treated the same way.
Yes, you know, allow people bring in what they have to
male,
the table.
female, you have more to offer, you get up there. If you don't have more to offer, regardless of what your gender is,
the best candidate should you know, be allowed to do the
All right, viewers, let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, the Agenda Show will continue. Do stay with us.
Do you want wider patronage of your goods and services?
Do you want your goods and services to have traction?
Do you desire to make more sales and increase your return on investment?
KAFTAN TV has got you covered, because you can achieve all this with reasonable amounts of money.
With modest charges, we are the best around here for advertising and product promotion.
Whatever you want to say it for us on KAFTAN TV.
We are a global multimedia platform aimed at positioning the African viewpoint
on Startimes channels 480 and 124, and free-to-air NIGCOMSAT channels 12518, symbol rate 29500.
With crystal clear digital signals, we reach no fewer than 54 million viewers around the world. For advert bookings and sponsorship of programs, please call
Silas on 081 615 19559, Khadija on 070 713 72115, or Reuben on 080 234 47703.
KAFTAN TV.
Imagine a beautiful world.
We're still on the Engendered show. It's for the topic for today's gender issues, as we're talking about roles and stereotypes in the workplace. So, we've been talking about this gender issue, gender roles. As a woman, like you are a proprietress, in a school. So that is, I believe, for a school, that is the highest. That's the highest. So, what are the practical ways? Because we've been talking about a lot of ways, to further shorten the gap. But so far, we only talk about, like, the theoretical aspects, of which, as much as they do work, they don't sometimes, like we said before we went on the break, they divide, they cause more divide. You are now a woman at that position, at in a leadership position. What are the practical ways that you have seen that can help us, close those gaps?
People's strength should be harnessed.
Okay.
Look out for what everyone is best at, whether male or female, gender irrespective, and allow people work in the roles they fit in, where they can deliver adequately. Don't say because it's mathematics it has to be a male teacher, right? Because it's home economics it has to be a female teacher, or that he's male, he can't work in early years, and that is high school and is senior high, physics, chemistry, they have to be male teachers, right? Don't look at for all of these stereotypes. Just try all of their abilities at the point of employment. Who is best, should be employed. You asked earlier about me experiencing this kind of situation. Actually, I have not, because at the point I was only an employee for 4 years, and at the point of getting that job, they were all male, we were 2 females, and I got the job. And my first degree was in computer science, and we were all fresh out of NYC. We were given equal opportunity to prove up ourselves, and the organization went for the best, and I got the job. So I have not experienced it, and I feel that's the right thing every organization should do. Allow people function in the positions they're best suited for. Don't stereotype people and say because it's a male, he shouldn't work in nursery session.
So, okay, you work in the education sector, and most of the time, like you said, the society, ingrains this thing. And we know the smallest unit of the society is the family. You come across a lot of parents. So what's your advice for parents out there? Because as much as we can talk here, you can talk in school, but they are with their parents in the house, and the children grow up to be adults. Adults make up the functioning members of the society, people that make the decisions and things like that. So how do we curtail, what are your advice to the parent out there to nip this problem in the bud
from home?
From the family.
Like you rightly said, family is the smallest unit of the society, and children learn by example. They are observing, and they just naturally know that, okay, because I'm male, I shouldn't do this, or because I'm female, I shouldn't do this. Yes, there are situations where these gender roles come to play, whether we like it or not. But the general thing a child should do, the general thing a human should do, every human should be able to take care of themselves and people around them, their things, and the things of people around them, right? Every human should be kind, compassionate, loving. So when you begin to say you are a male, don't cry. Or you are a male, why are you feeling bad? That little thing and all that. You're already creating the problem, right? So the basic things that relates to all humans should be ingrained in all the kids at home. Every child should know how to sweep and to clean. Every child should know how to make meals for themselves when they are of age. Every child should go on certain errands. Don't say because she's female she shouldn't wash the car. No.
Every child should also be educated.
Yeah.
And
There are
that,
some people that still
yes,
believe
that believe that the
education-
female
Yeah.
child, you
Child,
know,
the
I'm
education
just
of the
wasting my
female
money, right?
Mhm.
I think the gap has been closed to a large extent now.
extent.
Yeah.
To a large extent. Now it still exists, but
still
it's
need
still
more,
minimal.
we
It's
still
not
need,
minimal.
yeah.
It's not as it used to be, but there's still a lot still have to be done because you
Yes.
still see people do all that.
Yeah.
So these stereotypes should be eliminated from the home. If a child can wash a car, let that child go and wash
the
that car, whether
Yeah.
male
Or
or
female.
female,
Yeah.
right? If a child can on the generator by dragging, not that key stuff, right? Whether male or female, once the child can do it, allow the
it.
child do it. Don't stereotypes rules from the home.
Yeah.
So the girl goes out and, you know, needs all the support. It's not, she is not independent at all.
That's true.
And you know, these things begin to create tiny problems here and there that, you know,
We're not communicating to
pile
a
up
bigger
to
one.
become a very huge problem later for the family and then
The
the
society.
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you think that you know, we talked about traditional or natural roles? Do you think these roles contribute to the stereotypes in the workplace?
Sure.
Okay.
They
buttress.
do. They do. You know, in the workplace, the man also knows that I'm a man here in the workplace.
That's true.
And then these natural roles, like we found male nurses, right? We found male chefs, and we say this is the female profession. Like you want to assume that, oh, because it's a kitchen work, it's a caring job, it should be for the females. But we have male there. And then society have made it look this way, like, and then you're a male nurse, you're in the hospital, a patient comes in, you are sitting, the female nurse is sitting, and it's something private. You just want the female nurse to attend to this
to you.
female,
Okay.
right? So because the society has already stereotyped this, and somehow unconsciously
Unconsciously,
we
exactly.
just display these things, you know, unconsciously, but they are visible.
Look, can we
They
also
are very-
unconsciously eradicate these stereotypes?
When like the instance I just made, when the female nurse is not there, the male nurse will
nurse,
attend to you.
Right?
So,
Automatically.
so when you do not
You
have
don't
a
have any
choice, when you
choice.
do not have a choice, yes,
This is a very interesting topic
very,
because
it is.
the thing is, you know, I'm still going to go back to the family because I believe they have the bulk
of
the
work
work
to do.
because it's very hard to untrain an adult. It's very, very, very hard to tell an adult that, okay, you have to start treating your, you know, your counterpart, your female counterpart
This
as
way.
equal this way, and that this is something that okay,
They
I've been
already
seeing-
know.
I've been seeing this
childhood,
same
you know.
thing,
Yeah.
and then you're telling me to just change it. It takes a lot.
Unlearning and relearning is not as easy as it sounds.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. So I believe the family have a big role to play. So, you know, mothers out there, fathers out there, don't restrict your child to a certain role. Don't restrict your word to, you know, certain things and say, oh, you are female. I mean, I grew up in a home where anything was possible for me. So when you're saying, have you ever encountered, you know, inequality in a place of work or a stereotype? A little bit. Will I say I don't know much about the subject
you have
because
not
I have not
encountered it.
encountered. But you know, you have a lot of women out there, men as well, because we are talking about certain roles that are, you know, specific to you know, the agenda, like the nurse now. Most of the time we see the females as nurses. So when you see males as no, you know, when I first heard male nurse, I was like, what? Male nurse? How? What I do with
Very
that?
many.
But that is where the
Stereotype.
unconscious, you know, the unconscious bias played in. I was like,
Exactly.
until later I was like, but a male can also be a nurse.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
But thankfully, I you know, this got into my head when I was a child. So it was easier to replace.
eradicate.
It was easier to replace.
Yeah, also in the aspect of chef. Initially, we all have this notion that it's just we have
female
chef.
Female
But
chef.
then I was like, I'm being also chef. Wow,
exactly. And the thing is, some of the let me not say
female
best.
pilots.
Some of the female pilots. Some of the best male chefs in the world are males.
Yes, the best chefs in the world.
Because you know that,
for example, my dad is a really good cook.
Oh, really?
you know the term that what a man does, a woman does it better. What a man does, a man does it better.
Yeah, there's situations like that.
So next thing. All right. Away from that now. Still talking about stereotype, you said you've not experienced it personally, but then you've seen people experience it. So what are your advice for women that are facing these stereotypes in the workplace? What's your advice for them?
Be bold, be confident, believe in yourself, in your abilities. No one believes in you, but you should believe in yourself. Know that you matter and that you can, and if you put in the effort, you will. And then have role models. Look up to people that have done it. How did they do it? Like me, I follow up this Awoshika lady a lot, and when she speaks, I see the work she put in
to herself.
How no one believed or even understood at that time. But you know, when the results begin to show, everyone wants to celebrate it, right? They don't know the work that. So you too, it doesn't matter the level you are now, begin to put in the work in that secret place, and when the opportunity comes, speak up for yourself and for others. Don't be intimidated, don't be scared. You see, confidence is not disrespect.
Confidence.
Yeah, it's not disrespect. That you're able to speak up for yourself, and people are wondering, why is she just speaking like that? It doesn't mean you don't have respect. It means you know what is right, and you're standing for what is right, and you're defending what is right. It may not affect you immediately, but it may affect someone close to you. So know that you're defending both yourself and others. Yes. And so follow role models, people that join support groups, right? Study, develop yourself, and do it one step at a time, gradually,
without showing any form of masculinity. Because people
be female and be
see that
bold.
you showing your confidence as if you are displaying masculinity.
Arrogance.
Yes.
but at this point in your life, if you don't know that every woman is a leader, as a woman you're a leader, I don't know, maybe you're living under the rock, maybe Zuma rock. We need to come and pull you out of under the rock.
We are born leaders.
Know that every woman, everybody is a leader.
Exactly.
Everybody has it in them.
Yes.
Harness it, and bring it to bear.
Just have to harness your inner leadership, inner leaderness.
Your potential. All right, Lawrenta, thank you so much.
Thank you
it's
for
really nice having
me.
you in the studio. Hope to
It's a
see you.
pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain in our guest voice. Be confident, be outspoken, express yourself, stand up for your rights. As I'm talking about women. Don't let anyone intimidate you. Don't be relegated to the background. Always speak out for yourself. And that doesn't mean you are exhibiting any form of masculinity. Be confident in all you do. Till we come your way again, I am Confidence Reuben.
And I am Bukola Ogungbeje. Remember that you have that leader in you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.